Hey guys, welcome to Performance Toyota. It's me, Hillary, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new 2024 Toyota Tundra TRD off-road package. So Toyota Tundra is 100% great and famous truck in the Toyota lineup, and the one thing too is the accessories that you're able to do on these trucks. And that is exactly what I'm going to be able to showcase for you today on one of our trucks as the TRD off-road package with some accessories on it. So one of the accessories that is on this Tundra is the TRD lift kit. So as you can see, you get more ground clearance on this truck. You get a 3-inch lift in the front and a 2-inch lift on the back. Now this amazing truck comes with a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 engine. So that is exactly what power that you would be getting within this truck. Now, as for the outside of this vehicle, you do end up getting the TRD grille, which only comes on the TRD off-road and sport packages. You also end up getting the chrome accent around it that matches your emblem in the front. Now, this specific color is the Lunar Rock, which is more of a light green, which is probably my personal favorite because it looks amazing on this truck. Now, you do end up getting your LED headlights when it comes to this Tundra, as well as your signal light, a chrome accent inside the headlight, as well as your side marker on the side here. So you do also end up getting the Tundra logo on the front, as well as your LED fog lights, TRD that of course is inside the grille, and then your active grille shutters is on the Tundra as well. So coming to the side of the vehicle, first and foremost, you end up getting your matte black fender flares, your 18-inch off-road alloy wheels, which look absolutely amazing on this track. Next and foremost is of course your mirrors, so you end up getting the Lunar Rock color on top of the mirror, as well as your black contrast on the bottom with your signal light over here. And then coming to the actual handles, you do end up getting keyless entry, as well as your black accent on the handles with your Lunar Rock color as well. Aluminum and steel is actually made out of these front doors, so then that way the actual size as well as the weight of them are easier to close from the front and the back. So the next thing that's on this truck is the Predator tube step in matte black, which is right here on the bottom. Now, usually you can get the full running boards, but these ones are just the steps. So next up is the blackout badges, as you can tell on the Tundra, as well as on the SR5 that's at the top of the door. Now coming to the actual bed of the vehicle, gas cap is always, of course, on every Toyota on your driver's side. Again, get your fender flares over here, a nice curve over that gives it more of that beefier look on this truck, and then your TRD off-road badge as well. So coming to the back of the vehicle, 100%, so your taillights are here, and you end up getting a chrome piece on the actual bottom of your back bumper as well, so chrome here and there. And then, of course, your tow hitch that comes on every single truck of ours. It is not extra, just saying. So the tailgate insert badge is another accessory that you're able to put on this truck. You can either do chrome or black, and as you can tell with this one is the black one, which looks great. So for all of my short friends, we can also put in a rear bumper step, so then that way we can actually look inside the bed, which is awesome, and just put it out of the way as well. The light bar is another accessory that you're able to put on this Tundra. As you can tell, the sequential light that ends up coming once you put a signal on. And another fun fact with the back bumper is that this is actually a 3-piece bumper. So then that way, if you get into an accident or anything, you don't have to replace the whole entire thing. You just have to replace this, which is absolutely amazing and smart on Toyota's side. Now, to look at the actual tailgate itself, you do end up getting your backup camera here, as well as the Toyota sign on the actual handle, and then the button that's underneath. So you just press that, and then she comes right down. You also end up getting Tundra on the side here, which is really nice, definitely a nice touch. And then of course your bed cleats and everything here. Alright guys, so we are in the back seat of this Tundra. Now with this one, it is the Crew Max. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, now because this one has a Predator 2-step, it's going to be so much easier to be able to get inside the vehicle. And of course you have the hand grip that's right there. And definitely a lot easier to be able to jump in, already have that space that is in here. Seat wise, again, very comfortable, that we all know in this Tundra. And when it comes to space, headroom, amazing. Even if you are a little bit taller than me, you still have quite the room, which is absolutely amazing. And the other thing that you do end up getting in the back is your vents, and then you kind of have a little bit of a storage compartment here in case you have a phone or anything like that, as well as your Type-C port and a USB port. And the back of the vehicle as well, when it comes to the seats, you get the pocket only on the passenger seat. Please keep that in mind, because I know a lot of us are probably used to having both pockets on the seats, but right now it's just the passenger. Hopefully maybe they'll be able to bring that back. Now when it comes to the actual seats wise, this one is cloth, but still very comfortable, and it does kind of have like the bubbly texture, which I think is nice because it gives you more of a grip that hugs you while you're just sitting, especially when it comes to even just a very long ride. So that 100% has been a very good interior spec that I absolutely love, especially when it comes to these trucks. Today we actually have a very special guest. We have Giacomo over here on my left side, and he's actually going to be showing us an experience drive in the Tundra that we are currently in right now. Giacomo, how are you feeling so far?
Feeling great, feeling great. First time on board and on the show, so I'm super excited and very honored.
Awesome. So as of right now, we are actually just kind of cruising along in the city. At least this way we know, again, with a lot of our truck drivers, first thing and foremost is trying to see how the drive is. So Giacomo, first and foremost, the moment you got into the truck, how do you feel?
Well, just so everyone knows what I'm driving, it's a 2024 Tundra. It's a Crew Max TRD off-road. Now this particular off-road has a factory OEM lift kit on it. So it gives a 2-inch lift on the back, a 3-inch lift on the front, and this again is all factory from Toyota Canada. So it's sitting up a lot higher than the Tundra normally sits, which is great. I mean, there's a lot of visibility here. Kind of feel like you're on top of the world. The suspension, very soft. I wasn't expecting an off-road vehicle to be as smooth as this one is, but it's quite soft. And mind you, we're on city streets here. Definitely drives a lot smoother than the TRD Sport version that I had previous to this one. So I'm able to speak to both the Sport and the off-road. The Sport Tune suspension was a lot stiffer. This one's definitely my favorite.
So Giacomo, in your personal opinion, since you've obviously done your drive from the just regular Tundra and now this one that's now lifted, what's your absolute favorite?
Definitely the lifted one. I absolutely love the lifted Tundra. Just the sheer visibility difference. It doesn't seem like much when you're looking at a 3-inch lift at the front. Like it's quite the difference. Definitely my favorite.
Okay, now how would you feel on like gas mileage wise though? Do you think that would do something to it?
The lift itself, no, it won't affect the gas mileage. When we talk about fuel efficiency, I think the biggest factor would be, if you're putting aftermarket tires on, if they're bigger tires, they're obviously, heavier than the factory OEMs. So that might make a little bit of a difference, but, when you're driving a V6 as opposed to the old V8s and you got the twin turbo when you want a nice little kick, yeah, no, not that much of a difference at all.
Okay, so being on the back roads as of right now, already space-wise, I definitely feel a lot more comfortable. Now, considering that we've gone through different models of Tundras, now this one, since it is the 2024 and it is a Crew Max, Giacomo, how honestly do you feel on the Crew Max opposed to like a double cab?
I can tell you that the Crew Max, you know, being a father and having a family of 4 people, we have far more room than we actually need. The kids on either one of the back seats have enough space between them to keep the peace, so to speak. But no, tons of
kicking the back of
nobody's kicking the back of the chair. Thank goodness. No, there's a ton of room in this cabin. It's by far one of my favorite vehicles to drive because of the cabin space. Now, I don't know if you can tell while I'm speaking, there's not a lot of road noise, there's not a lot of wind noise. I don't have to speak very loud. You know, it just feels comfortable. It feels solid. You know, you can have a conversation without having to raise your voice.
Without yelling.
Absolutely.
Definitely, I already have noticed that, which is great. And considering that, you know, other vehicles, we always hear, especially customers coming in, road noise, right? So with that, truck lovers that come through and they want to go to a Tundra and they've had an SUV all their life. So let's per se that. What would you then say to them when it comes to like any pointers or anything like that?
The vehicles I normally drove were a mid-size SUV. I was never a truck guy. Didn't really understand the love for trucks. I just knew that, you know, truck people were truck people and that's it.
And I think now you are.
I am definitely a truck guy. Yeah, so jumping into a Tundra, you know, full-size pickup truck, like I said, the one point that really got to me, the one aspect of it was the cabin space. So the room inside this truck is phenomenal. Lots of room, lots of leg room, you know, lots of headroom. It's just room all the way around, but not too much, just enough. You know, I thought coming from an SUV going into a truck, I thought, well, you know, it's going to take forever for me to park this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It honestly took me maybe 3 days to get used to how long the vehicle was, because this is a Crew Max, so it doesn't have the longer box.
Yeah.
So it was, it was a few days. I got used to the space, and now I'm parallel parking like a champ. I'm backing into parking spaces without any issues whatsoever. I mean, with the nice screen that it has, as soon as you put the vehicle in reverse, you can see everything behind you. So you know just how close you're getting to any object.
And that's obviously with all the safety features that come with the TRD off-road, which again, remember guys, Toyota in general has their safety features standard on all of our vehicles, which is amazing, because that would definitely help with backing up something. And again, to all my short people, thank you very much. You also have power seats in here, which is amazing. Okay, and that definitely helps as well. So, and headspace, 100%, comfortability is great too, and I definitely agree with that. Now, when it comes to the TRD packages in general, you do end up seeing inside the interior, like the TRD steering wheel, as well as the shift knob, and the TRD push button is red, which is nice against all the black. Now, do you like just the full black or the red with the black? What's your preference?
I definitely love the improvement that Toyota made with the TRD packages, where it feels a lot more like TRD. Just something as simple as the shift knob, as wide as it is now, you know, with the red stripe in the middle, gives it that distinct TRD package look. The steering wheel with the red stripe in the center, and then the TRD logo closer to the bottom of the steering wheel, again giving it that special TRD feel. Getting away from the steering wheel and going right into the instrumentation cluster here. I really love how wide of a cluster this is. It gives you great visibility when it comes to your speedometer, your tachometer, and then the center screen in the middle, it's the multi-information display, I believe. Is that?
Yes.
That's what it is, okay. Yeah, the multi-information display, I mean, I have it on my personal favorite setting where I have the speed in a digital read, just because I sometimes get a little lost, you know, don't want to take my eyes off the road to be able to see exactly where the little lines are. I have the speed in digital format. The other thing I absolutely love about this cluster is that you can change it to however you really like to have it. So my personal preference is to know what my distance to empty would be. That's on there constantly. Not that I'm ever afraid of running out of gas, but I have run out of gas more times than I'd like to say on camera. So
I think a bunch of us have probably been there.
yeah, I think we all have. So yeah, I definitely have that distance to empty on there. The instrumentation cluster will also give you the read on whether the lines on the road are being picked up, and that's for your lane departure alert with your lane keep assist. As you can see, the two lines right at the very top of the screen are solid because the camera is picking up both lines if we ever were to move off of the road, which I'm going to do now. You're going to see some of those lines, if not both, go hollow, just like that. So now we're in a little bit of an off the beaten path, even though it's not completely level, it's not bumpy at all. It's a pretty
it's actually very smooth on here.
Right? Pretty comfortable. This is one of the things that like I said, that I love about this truck and about the suspension. But yeah, you know, when it comes to the full package instrument, the cluster itself, you can't beat it. It's amazing. You can see everything right there at a glance.
Now, I know this is definitely going to be a question from customers. Now, we are in, again, the TRD off-road package. So this is exactly what the cluster would look like. Is it digital on any other packages? Yes or no?
I believe it is digital in the platinum, like the capstone. It is digital on the higher end trim levels. You can correct me if I'm wrong, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that is definitely correct.
Okay.
He was on the money with that.
Nailed it.
With that said, what is your personal favorite then?
You know what? I'm old school. I'm old school. I like the cluster. I like seeing the gauges. I like seeing the lights in behind and it being an actual cluster. So that's just my personal
honestly,
preference.
I'm probably on the same boat, but with that, the updated technology is where that digital cluster is now on, of course, the upgraded packages. With that, going over to the fact that we are now in a wireless community, so wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Please tell me how easy it has been for you to be able to now just get rid of all those cables.
I love not having to connect to anything in this vehicle, hardwired. My phone is just sitting in the carousel right there in the center console, right to my right. It's great because they even have a little slot that's opened up at the bottom. So if you do have a cable that's connected, you can slip it down into that slot and it won't move from there either. But it's absolutely fantastic to just get in the vehicle, start it up, and it instantly picks up the Apple CarPlay and it goes right to your main screen.
Perfect. And then of course you do also get wireless charging in other packages. The wireless charger in the Tundras are more on a uplift angle instead of just flat down, so just keep an eye on that, especially for people that have like the shorter phones. The one thing I will say is that for like my own sister that has a shorter phone, you actually have to kind of prop it up a little bit for the wireless charger to be there, so just kind of keep that in mind. But still, it's nice because then at least you can still see your phone regardless.
So how about those buttons?
So one thing I will say is when it comes to these buttons, they're more so like a tab-like feature, which is definitely nice, especially in a truck, because it just goes with it. Makes the more aggressive looking feature of the truck come together. Now when it comes to the actual center of the truck, you get your center console and everything. How easy is it to be able to just go in there, because it is pretty big and it does come up pretty high, and I'll just demonstrate that. And as he does that, right? So how easy is that to be able to just put your hand through and make sure you have stuff right at your disposal?
Oh, it's like you said, there's a ton of room in there. What I love is this feature right here where you can actually slide open the compartment. If you have any cables, as I do, you know, you can connect your phone, but this is kind of a quick access right there. If you have a wallet, if you have anything that you need, it's right there at your fingertips. If you do need to reach back, the button's kind of just right up at the front. You lift, tons of room back there.
And you have places for coins in there, which is awesome.
Going back to the old school, I absolutely love the coin holder. You know, again, with kids in the car,
Absolutely.
not to say that the coins are gonna last long, but they're definitely a space to store them.
Yeah, there you go. So that means you don't have to have a lot of jingling when you're driving or anything like that, which is probably very nice.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now going from there to, when it comes to storage, you do also get storage. Like for me over here, I do have a little bit of a storage space here to put like a phone or anything really to just kind of put in there that's already at my reach. A glove box, of course, is nice and spacious to whatever you need to put in there. You do also get cup holders in the doors, road trips, anything like that. And even speaking of road trips, still really comfortable in the seats. One thing I 100% will say, I do like the seat. So that's very nice.
Yep.
How you feeling so far? Good?
Oh, amazing. I can't wait to take my first road trip, my actual first road trip, being on the road for hours and hours at a time, because you just don't get tired. You don't have, the pain in your lower back. If you need a little bit of heat, you got the heated seats with 3 different, heat levels, right at your fingertip right here. Passenger, same thing over there. And like you said, it's that tap style buttons that we have where, it's tapping down or tapping up. It's not really a knob that you have to find and search. It's just down and up, and you have everything at your fingertips. And speaking of everything at your fingertips, you have, even the different drive modes. Right, so this vehicle does come equipped with a 2-wheel high, a 4-wheel high, and a 4-wheel low option right down in the center console here. So whenever I would need a 4-wheel high, I can just move the tab down and it goes automatically into the 4-wheel high.
So for people that aren't really truck language people, why would you go in between them?
Well, the 2-wheel high is what keeps the fuel efficiency to its max level. You have primarily your 2 rear tires are the ones that are continuously working or spinning. When it comes to the 4-wheel high, that's where you need a little more traction. Let's say there's some snow on the ground. Let's say, it's a heavier downpour, lots of rain. You would feel a little more comfortable with having all 4 wheels moving at the same time, and at a speed, I would say, no higher than 60 kilometers an hour. Whenever you're using the 4-wheel high, it's because you're going at higher speed, but still need the 4-wheel traction.
So with that then, and then right beside it, that's where the different modes are, right? So
yes, different drive modes.
So you get tow haul, your MTS, and then DAC and crawl. So I know right now we're kind of going over a bend, but you also do get sport mode in this as well, correct?
You do get sport mode in this. So
have a little fun there.
this nifty little dial here, again, right at your fingertips. If you move it to the left, it'll drop down to eco mode. So eco mode, basically the truck forces you to drive efficiently. Your accelerator isn't quite as sensitive.
Okay.
Now, if I move this back to the center, it'll bring it back to normal drive. And then if I put it off to the right, you can automatically feel the RPMs go up.
Yep,
did you feel that?
Hear that.
Felt the RPMs go up, and the accelerator is a lot more responsive. So what we're going to do is just get around a little bit of the bend so I don't throw the cameraman out the window and wait for a little bit of a straightaway, and you'll see there's that pushback.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's pretty much as immediate as you can get.
And that's smooth too.
It's a very smooth transition. So I'm going to go back to normal mode, which is where I like to live and breathe. No, that sport mode is there. It's fantastic. When you're going onto a highway, you need to merge. Need that little bit of extra kick right away. You go right into that sport mode. Or if you just have that need for speed, you can play in the sport mode all day long. So just looking at the functionality of the buttons on the steering wheel, the right-hand side of the steering wheel will give you the buttons for functionality of the vehicle and the safety features. So we're going to start right at this button here, and this is the lane departure alert with the steering assist. As you can see, there's a little diagram on the information display on the console. I can, turn that off or turn that on. I love to drive with it on just in case I do happen to be looking in one direction and not paying attention to whether I'm going out of a lane or not. So that will give me the alert. This button over here, that would be for the distance that you can set for your dynamic radar cruise. You know, this will allow you to be at a very safe distance, you know, and get a little bit closer between this vehicle and the one ahead of it. Aside from that, you have the mode button, and this will basically change from, you know, your AM to FM to XM radio, and then it also connects to your phone media from here. The buttons for right and left, that is to cycle through your media. So if you are on FM and you have your favorite stations, it'll cycle through your favorite stations. On the left-hand side, you're going to find this is where your calling feature comes in. So you have the talk button. It's a little figurine. It looks like it's got his mouth open. So you push that, and that will give, in this case, Siri will come on, and you can give Siri a command. And then you have your volume control for lower or higher volume. And this little cluster right here of buttons, this right here is to navigate the menu in your information display.
All right, guys, so that is our 2024 Toyota Tundra TRD off-road package. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.